Hey, everybody, I'm Dr. John Sherk. It's Wednesday morning, 11 o'clock Central, and that means it's time for Brown Bag Lunch. Here we are yet again with me bringing you what I can to help you with your recruiting needs, with your enhancing the lives of air conditioning technicians, a group that we're going to begin to define more broadly coming into the second half of this year. We're going to expand to like most blue-collar professions. Obviously, air conditioning is my background, but we're going to add some people to our family here. So what I want to talk about today is your mindset about the workforce out there that you want to hire from, as well as the one that you have. So there's a company out on the West Coast that does a recruiting software called Employ, and they put out some really nice data of what's going on out there in the workforce. And part of what the data is showing is that the trend line is continuing to happen, in which more and more jobs are available and fewer people are qualified to take them. I don't know if you noticed last month, we nationally went back up 4% on unemployment again, but that number no longer means what it used to mean 15 or 20 years ago in terms of its connection to the overall economy. What it means to be a worker in America is continuing to evolve to a place that it's never been at before. So roughly, according to this data in 2024, roughly 80 to 82% of American workers report that they are satisfied or very satisfied with the job that they have, right? And roughly 80 to 82% say they are interested or very interested, open or very open to an opportunity somewhere else, right? Which means a large majority of the American workforce, and this applies to your technicians as well, are what we could call looking, right? And so this means that they're not in a hurry to get away from you, but they're not defining their relationship to you with loyalty the way it used to be, right? They're seeing a fair exchange. They're seeing things are okay, but for the right opportunity, they'll go, right? And so what are again, according to this data, what are the main reasons that they're saying they would look for another job? Number one on the list is one I want to talk about today, and that's career advancement. Now, number two on the list, and that's 52% of the group that is open. So half of the looking group say the number one reason they would go somewhere else is career advancement. After that is greater work flexibility, or to be able to work remotely. Doesn't really apply in the same way in the trades, because you got to be there with your hands. Number three, 31%, better company leadership. Same number, 31%, better company culture. And then when we get down into the 20s, change in geography, workforce diversity, concern about the employer's financial future, things like that. There's other, but those numbers are getting smaller. That number one piece there, career advancement, that's what I want to talk to you about today. Take some time when you have it, which I know it's July, so you don't have it, but when you do have it, think about how you can create a career out of a single job. Now, we normally think of, so a tech, we think of a job as having like a set of tasks, and you can be bad at it or good at it and get better at it over time, but that's the job. And then if you want to become a supervisor, it changes where you are in the org chart and so on. And then if you want to become a service manager, that comes next and so on. And easily the number one problem that I see organizations have in this territory that we're talking about right now is guys have nowhere to go up, right? The companies are often family owned. All of the top jobs are populated by family members. And so where do I go? How do I have a career? And which is the question I want to propose to you. I've thought about writing a book on this, but it's mostly ideas. I don't have as much boots on the ground. I have a little bit, but not as much boots on the ground experience. So I'm just proposing the idea for you to think about now. But the idea here is to find a way to take someone who is a frontline technician and create 3 to 5 levels with changing titles and changing compensation all inside that job. Just make sense? So you start out as junior something, then main something, then senior something, that sort of concept, but it all happens inside of that job, and compensation is tied to it, so that someone can look at a kind of career path without being sort of promoted on an org chart, but does have a title change and a pay bump. And it happens every so often, but it feels like a promotion, not like something that happens automatically. It's not tied to number of years of experience. It's tied to, I've seen you do this thing this right way, this amount of time. So now you get to go up to the next level. There's more pay associated with it. And you don't have to be a giant company to do this. If I went down to Dow Chemical or some plant along the river where I live, there would be something like this, but it's a giant company. You can have, 15 technicians and still build out something like this for yourself, and find some kind of symbolic way, because status is tied to this as well. Something as simple as a number of chevrons on someone's uniform can symbolically tell people, this is where I'm at on the career ladder. Where are you at? Right. But the idea being that people get stuck, technicians get stuck feeling like there's nowhere to go. And I have some clients that are some of the best cultures. In fact, one is the best culture I've ever seen. And sometimes people still leave. And if they do, it's for this reason. They see an opportunity from what they know is a lesser company, but it's a step up for them in terms of career. And so they take it, right? It's more money, but it's also a step up. And so process this for yourself. If you're a service manager, if you own the company, and if you are a technician, have a conversation about this yourself. Go into your service manager or the owner of the company and say, look, I want to have a career here. We both know there's only so far I can go because all family members are going to populate these top jobs. I'm not going to be the president of this company someday. Can we work together to build out, what does it look like for me to have a 20-year career here as a technician, but have it build like a career in steps over time with progressive titles and progressive pay, right? There's going to be problems there. If we had done this 10 years ago, there's a salary compression problem where you work 10 years for a number and now you got to pay that number to somebody just to get them in the door. I understand there's going to be problems in it, but we're not addressing this problem enough, not addressing it clearly enough. And I can tell you, if you have 10 technicians, out of every 10 technicians, 8 of them are what we would call looking. And of those 8, 4 of them would leave for a career advancement situation, right? So do the math. If you've got 20 technicians, then that's 8 of them. And it's not the people who are at the top of the food chain because they've already advanced their career with you. Okay. Now, if they've been there a while, same thing would apply to them. There's just fewer of them. But if you've got a supervisor and he wants to be a service manager, same principle applies. So think through what you could do inside of your company, building out a machine or a system in which a technician has a career as a technician that doesn't stall at the 7 or 8 year mark. Okay. Like I often, if you listen to my content, you often hear me talk about in residential work, 10-year TED. And 10-year TED is defined by the fact that he's still got a lot of good years left in him. There's no clear upward path for him. And it's his job to fix all the rookie mistakes. And you're at risk of losing him, and he's your best guy. And this is one of the solutions to address this problem with, is building out these layers, these levels, these promotions with comp attached to it inside of your company. And it's not really complicated. It just takes a little time to think it through, see what makes sense, run it by your techs and see how they feel about it, and then roll it out and start doing it. And then once obviously you've rolled it out, you've got to stay to it and keep going. Okay. So, but just realize out of every 10 technicians you have, 4 of them are looking and would leave for career advancement opportunities. So if you want to keep them, consider creating the look and feel and reality of a career inside the job they already have with you. And in so doing, you'll not only keep the guys you have, but that company down the street who also has 10 guys, 4 of them are looking for a career advancement as well. And that puts you on their radar because they can have a career with you. Okay, my name's Dr. John Sherk. I do want to promote the AI training we have coming up. The use of AI, especially in an office environment, is coming fast, super fast. And so I'm building out a couple of scout trainings, meaning I don't know if my whole company needs this. Just send me a scout for 3 hours. I have one coming up on the 24th of this month. It's going to be a remote training. It's a Wednesday afternoon, 1 to 4 Central Time for 3 hours. Send one person, $99. They'll come in, they'll get a taste of what it is we're talking about. And if they feel like this is something that really your whole company should take a look at, then they'll come back, confirm that, and then we can talk about doing something together, just me and your company. Okay. But it's a big leap. You see me on here, but you don't know everything that I know, what I deliver and all of that. So it's just an opportunity to taste and see. I do have some interest. Some people are registering. So please, if you're interested, comment below. Me or someone on my team will reach out to you and we'll get you registered for that training on July 24th so that you can step up. The number of things that AI can do to add value to you is much more than you realize. And what I've been telling people is for every one person, give me them for 8 hours one time, and I'll give them back to you with 8 new hours of productivity every week ongoing. And that's a legit number. So, all right. That's all for this week, and we'll see you next time.